So you broke your foot twice. What happened?
All right, I did broke my foot twice, the same one. First one was in September. I was still here. I was still playing in Brazil. And then I dislocated the joint and broke the fibula. So it was terrible. It was like 6 months of recovery. And I was already getting ready to go to US. I already had a scholarship in mind, like a coach talking to me. And that happened. So I had to postpone my go to US. And when I got there in my first week, I broke again, the same foot.
How did you feel the first time when you broke your foot and you almost lost your scholarship? How was that for you?
So at the moment when it happens, because I was 100%, I was feeling 100%. I thought my foot was 100%. But I think the slide tackle was very strong and the grass was a little high. So when it happened, like I couldn't believe it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to go back home. Like the dream is over. You know, when I finally got there, it took me years to get to that point. So when I finally got to US, first week doing great in preseason, passing all the physical tests and everything. First week there, I was like, yep, I think it's over. I think I'm going to have to go back home with a broke foot. And yeah, that's it. But thank God the coach was amazing, amazing human being. And he told me to stay and help the team, just keep my studies and keep my grades. And then I redshirt when you get injured. And I recovered, did surgery, and was everything good.
For those who doesn't know, what is a red shirt? What is a red shirt?
So red shirt is when you have an injury in college and you kind of just sit down and just help the coach manage the team and do things like that. When you just go to school, you don't really play. So you don't lose your eligibility to play. So that's a red shirt.
After that, you went back playing and...
After that, in the next year, I went back playing on the field, and I also helped my coach recruit a lot of Brazilians for the team.
So you were a recruiter for the team?
Yeah, I was basically a recruiter. So I was helping him, and I knew a bunch of people here who wanted to go. So I did the same thing for them, and I helped them go. And when I noticed, we had like 8 Brazilians in the team.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So after college, what did you do?
All right. So after college, because of COVID, I stayed in, but because of my injury, I spent a lot of time in college. So I used to say that I could be a doctor by now because I literally studied for 8 years. Yeah. I studied 2 years in Brazil, right? I did physical education here. And then the dream of playing soccer overseas was so big for me that I decided to start over again. So I just started over everything. And after college was when I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be a trainer. I knew I wanted to be in the fitness industry. And at the beginning, I wanted to be a soccer coach.
You wanted to be a soccer coach?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Yeah. I always wanted to be involved with soccer. And I wanted to I coached some small clubs, but I wanted to go to college and be a soccer coach in college. But that changed.
Why?
I think it doesn't fit my lifestyle right now. And the way, like the direction my life took, it just doesn't fit my lifestyle. And it's not something that I really want to do it now. You know, I love just helping people to get better and be healthier.
When did you decide that? When was the turning point when you understood, you said like, okay, I want to help people. I want to be in fitness. When was that turning point for you?
For me, it was during COVID when I came. Okay, so I always know I wanted to be involved in sports on everything I did. Like never saw myself being a nurse or being a lawyer, you know, even like my parents, they wanted me to go for nurse.
But nurse? Yeah. Why is that?
I don't know. My dad always thought it was a cool career, I think. And, you know,
okay.
But I can't deal with blood. So I decided not to. And I always was involved with sports and I always was very active. So I always know I wanted to do physical education, but I also didn't want to be a teacher. So then
But you wanted to be a coach.
I wanted to be a coach. Yeah. I was always patient. I loved helping people. So I wanted to be a coach. And during COVID, I came home, right? After like when the college shut down and everything, I came home and the borders closed. So I had to figure out a way to make money here, and all the gyms shut down.
Yeah.
So I bought a bunch of equipment and I was going to people's house and training people. And I was literally changing their lives.
Yeah.
So when I did that, I was like, wow, that's what I want to do. And then I keep pursuing that and everything. And I had 2 more years in college after that. And I was study exercise science already. So then I decided I wanted to go all in. And in college, I met a teacher that changed everything for me. And she showed me that was possible to be a good trainer. And if I also want to pursue the career of a soccer coach, I also could, because that's what she was doing. She was a trainer and she was also a soccer coach, a head coach. So at the beginning, I thought like, oh, I can do both. So in my first year after college, I was working in 3 jobs. I was coaching a gym at 5:30.
Can you say that again? 3 jobs.
3 jobs after college. I was working in 3 jobs.
Oh my gosh.
So early in the morning, I was coaching in the gym. And then afternoon, I had a couple sessions in a different gym as a trainer. And later, from like 4 to 7, I was coaching soccer for little kids. So I had 3 jobs, and that was the first year. But after that, soccer got very taking too much of my time, and I decided to focus only in one thing, which is being a better trainer. And then I started like learning more about nutrition. I became a nutrition coach, and also certified personal trainer. Because in US, I don't know if you guys know this, but just having your degree in exercise science is not enough. You also need to have a certification. So I decided to pursue that, and yeah, I'm still studying, always learning.
That's cool.
Yeah. So nutrition coach, personal training, and now I'm all into that, helping people, especially women 30 plus, with my studio back home.
You have a studio back home?
Yeah. So that's the first year that I have my own space. So I have a studio, a small personal training studio, and it's been great, helping people, changing people's life.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about that. Because you're Brazilian.
Yeah.
You were playing soccer in Brazil, but then you got a scholarship to go to US. You did study, you did play, but after that was not enough. You wanted more, and you opened your own gym.
Yeah. So
how do you feel? Like, because for me especially, I was in US as well, but when I try to think about it, it's not an easy thing. It's very difficult.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's definitely not easy, but you just can't be afraid. I mean, I was afraid, but I did anyways. I risked everything, and most of the time, to something to happen in my life, a big no happened before, which is a push. So,
do you want to talk about that big no?
Yeah. So before going to US, right, the big no was like, broke my foot. And then I got that. I broke my foot again. But I didn't give up. Yeah. I kept going. I kept pushing. I was like, it's hard, but I'm going to do it. And then I kept going. So what happened that really pushed me to open my own space? I had the offer and I had the opportunity. But when you have a foot back and you don't want to go all in because you don't know what is in the other door.
You have a plan B.
Yeah. So I think there's something big coming, because every time something good is about to happen in my life, I have a huge setback. That's something like, oh, you either give up or you keep pushing to do better. So that's what I did. I went all in and I had no money. I just had the space, because God put someone very someone that blessed my life a lot, a friend, a client and a friend, and gave me the opportunity, and I decided to go all in. And I was like, okay, I have no money, but we all have credit cards, so.
You know what they say, it's all about the mindset. Have you always had this mindset like this, to always look for the good out of in every bad situation?
Yeah.
Were you always like that?
Yeah. I think growing up in church helped a lot, because I always knew God was always looking for me, and he would like never abandon me. So every time something difficult happened, I always try to see like everything has a purpose in life. So something good is about to come. And if not, we're going to keep fighting and keep trying, So I always try to see things. So that's the thing. You got to see the cup half full or half empty.
Half empty, yeah.
So I try to see always half full. That's cool. The thing.
That's super cool. Let's talk about health.
Health.
I don't think everybody knows that, but you have a kind of a challenging background.
Yeah. Now, people who see me now doing all these runnings and marathons, and I always struggle with my body, with my weight. I didn't have healthy problems, but because I cashed before, right? I changed before, but I always struggle with my weight and being like overweight and not knowing what to do and trying a bunch of different things, a million different diets and training and all that. So yeah, but the background is a little different than now. So
how was it for you? Do you think that it was the environment? Would you blame something or someone for that situation, or do you think it was just you and yourself and your mindset? Why do you think that you had to go through that kind of situation?
I think it was also the environment. The environment plays a huge role in our lives and how we live our life. So before, when I was on my 18, 20s, things were a little different. We didn't have all this information that we have now. And my parents and my family, they are not very active people, and they were never very healthy and eating healthy. So it was a little difficult, especially like when I first went to US, adapting to the diet there. I remember I struggled a lot eating at the cafeteria. I couldn't cook. With a broke foot, I wasn't moving enough. So I think that was huge for me, because I was in a very good shape before going to US. But then after my first year there, like I gained a lot of weight again because of the environment and adapting to the food and the ultra processed food that we have in US. It's completely different than here,
For those who are listening, how can you handle the environment? Because, okay, sometimes it might sound easy. Yeah, just do a diet, whatever. But then you go home, you open your fridge, all those stuff.
Yeah.
And how can you deal with that? Let's say you're not responsible for the groceries, or even if you're the one that does it, how can you manage having a balanced diet without, I don't want to say like, okay, so you have, let's say you're 30 plus, you have a husband, you have kids, and the kids are used to all those kind of stuff like chocolate, cookies, and all the stuff. And your husband, he's used to processed food, fast food. How can you break free from that? Or can you break free from that? What can you do to improve your diet in this situation specifically?
So what I always say is that like changing your body, it's mostly changing your mind, So the environment is very important. Like all of my clients, they have kids. Some of them small kids, some of them the kids already out of the house, but they always have kids. So that's the huge problem too. The huge, like, not problem, but the environment situation. So to get out of that, it's very important to have your family on board with you. You know, like everybody needs to be on board and support you, because if you're not, it's going to be very difficult. It is possible, but it's going to take a lot more discipline to do. I have clients that get great results with a husband that doesn't follow a diet and kids at home, because what I try to do for them is to be very personalized, right? So if a client tell me, oh, I have kids, I have a husband, that's how we eat, I'm going to try to make a plan for them that fits their lifestyle, you know, because a diet plan everybody can have. If you go online now, you can have, if you go to ChatGPT, you can have all the answers, all the knowledge you want. But knowledge is not everything. Knowledge is not what people lack. It's accountability, and it's a lifestyle that fits, like it is a plan that fits your lifestyle. Like if you have kids, I'm not going to give you a plan that you got to cook 2 meals, one for you and one for your kid. We're going to try to make them like all together that you guys can still have family time. Same thing with like going out to dinner, like as a family, you know, that's very important. Like food is not just fuel. Food, it's also memories. It's also like things that you're going to bring with you forever. You know, like myself now, I'm back home. And I don't deprive myself to eating anything. Like yesterday, my aunt made me canjica.
Oh, sweet or salt? Oh
sweet.
My gosh. That's
like
so
it's
good.
something I
You
only
guys don't have
here.
that in America, sorry.
No, you don't have that. And I don't even know how to explain. But it's just amazing, you know, and eating my mom's food, like my grandma's cake, corn cake.
Oh, corn cake, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, with the hot coffee, you know. So I'm not going to deprive myself of eating these things because it brings me memories, and like I feel loved by eating those foods with my family. So food is not just fuel. Yeah, most of the time, 80% of the time, we need to be fueling your body with the right foods to function well, to have more energy, to be there for our family and for our kids.
I like what you said, because especially here in Brazil, many times when someone cook for you, that's a love language. And imagine.
That's a love language.
And then you just say, no, I'm on a diet, I'm not going to eat.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. Like I have I don't want to say restricted diet, but I have my diet. You already know about it. But every time I go to my mom's house, my grandma's house, they offer me, I had to at least a bite. I have to take it. Yeah. It's memory. It's emotional. It's an emotional bond. It's
exactly. Yeah. They're not going to be here forever.
Yeah. You can't just say, I'm not going to eat it. And that's so cool.
Yeah. You can always go back to your plan, go back on track, you know, and you still have these times and you still enjoy. So I think the environment, it is very important, but it is possible if your family is also on board with you. And I think if like you are married and you have kids, and what a lot of my clients, they go through is that they think they're being selfish by taking care of themselves, by taking 1 hour a day to exercise and preparing some healthy meals. They think they're taking time from the kids, but in reality, you are showing up for them, because choosing those things is going to make you be here longer for your family. So that's how I think, and that's the mindset I try to tell them, because it's not that you're being selfish. A lot of them tell me, I feel bad for doing this for myself.
How? I never heard of that. Like being selfish because they're taking care of their body. I never heard of that. Because
it takes time from the kids. So if you think about it, most of women in the US, they have more than 2 kids, right? So it takes time. It takes time to take care of the house, to take care of the kids. Kids have sports everywhere. They got to drive kids, you know. The lifestyle is very different than Brazil. But now I try to show them that by taking care of themselves, it's a love language too, because they're going to be there for longer for the kids. They're going to be able to pick up the kids from the floor and play around and run around with them. Like grandkids, you know, a lot of them, they have grandkids now. So they want to move better. They want to be able to be more active with the kids, go to the soccer game, be able to run around, stand a whole game to watch a kid play. So that's very important. And that's what I try to do. I try to change their lives like that, giving them the solution for the problems. So what I used to say is that I have the solution for the problem that they didn't think they have.
I like that.
Yeah.
I saw there's a video of yours of a couple. Mm-hmm. I'm in love with them.
Chris and G.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love them.
Talk a little bit about Chris, especially Chris. For those who doesn't understand what's going on, what was going on, because it's in the past now.
Yeah. So Chris is a 60 years old guy, and he works out with his wife. And when he came to me, it was a challenge for me as a coach, because he told me, he brought the x-rays and showed me his back, and it was a bunch of screws on the back, like he has infusions in his spine. And it's a challenge to work with somebody like that. Yeah. You got to go very slow and modify a lot of the movements. But I knew it would change his life. I knew that's what he needed. And the first couple weeks, the hardest thing was to not give up. Don't give up. Keep going. It's going to get better. It's painful now, but it's going to get better. So when he first walked into the studio, I couldn't believe it. Like, he could barely walk. And even to pick up something weight from the floor, he couldn't do it. Like, he couldn't bend his back, nothing. And he couldn't even tie his shoes for over 15 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah, over 15 years. When one of the goals he told me he had was to tie his shoes by himself. He was very dependent of his wife doing everything for him, even helping him move around, things like that, because of his balance was very off. His balance is great now. And he has the strength to get up off the floor. He said also getting up off the floor without holding anything was one of his goals. And he's doing now. Yeah. He's getting up off the floor. He can tie a shoe now. We're still working on the second one. But he can tie a shoe. He can do step ups. He does deadlift now. He does bench press. He does squats. Everything.
Better than most of people. 15 years old, 17 years old that doesn't do anything.
Exactly. Exercise, especially strength training, you're literally buying your time back. You're buying your health back, because over time, we tend to lose a lot of muscle mass. Like a woman loses 3% of body muscle mass in a decade. So that's a lot if you think about it, 3% of muscle mass, we don't have much muscle to lose. If a person is sedentary, you don't have much muscle to lose. So if you lose a little bit, it's already a lot of damage. And that's when osteopenia start happening, osteoporosis, sarcopenia, which is lack of muscles, start happening. And we're not able to get up off the chair anymore. We're not able to go upstairs anymore. And that's what I try to change their lives, especially for older people. It's so important for them to be able to do these things. And I just love seeing them get better. See 65 years old doing a deadlift with over 100 pounds. It's just amazing. When they tell me, I couldn't go upstairs, and now I go upstairs and I still I'm not breathing heavy or anything, and my legs doesn't hurt. I don't need to take a break when I go for my walk. I walk my dog every day now. So these things is so rewarding for me as a coach, and it just showed me that I'm on the right direction.
Yeah. I feel like nowadays people are getting more educated about it. And fitness is not just a way of getting good looks. People are thinking ahead of time. I want to be here longer. I want to be here healthy. Yeah. That's very cool to see.
Yeah. I'm very happy to see that people are actually seeing that exercise is a non-negotiable thing now. Yeah. Go to the doctor and getting a prescription is not enough. It's not going to treat the root of the problem. Yeah. It's going to hide it. for a little bit, but the problem will be there. And if you're not active, if you're not doing anything, the tendency is just to decline and be dependent of somebody else, and it's so good to see that it's changing. And I see in my own family. Now I have my brother working out.
Really?
My sister-in-law is working out. Her mother is working out because she was losing a lot of muscle. She had like knee replacement. So now she see how it's important. In a few weeks, she's already seeing a lot of changes, especially like her posture. She's moving better. She's walking better. So it's just to live better, you know? And I'm not saying you need to go to the gym every day and be a gym rat. It's literally like 30 minutes, 3 times a week.
Go for a walk.
Go for a walk. Yeah. Sit down at the chair 10 times. That's it.
Okay,
You know?
I have a question for you. Here in Brazil, I don't know how to say that expression in English, but we have something that's falso magro.
Yeah, skinny fat.
Yeah.
Skinny fat. Mm-hmm.
Talk to us a little bit about that. What's your perspective on that? Because I used to be one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Like people who look at me and say, "Oh, you're skinny," but then when I was playing soccer, for those who doesn't know, and then when they would take my measurements, it was bad, like terrible.
The body fat percentage was higher than the muscle, right?
So no muscle, just bones and fat.
Yeah, that happens a lot. A lot of people, we're gonna see them in clothes, and it's just skinny fat. You see from the outside, and you think it's a healthy person, but there is no muscle mass. And muscle mass, like building muscle, it's longevity. It's what brings you longevity. It's what makes you feel better. And being a skinny fat, that just means that you have more body fat percentage than muscle mass. So those people who are not just big people needs to exercise, skinny fat people needs too, especially for those things that I was talking about. Sarcopenia, osteopenia, osteoporosis, all that, which is like lack of bone density. When your body loses a lot of muscle, what happens is that your body starts using bone density, bone muscle to utilize to make you move better, to live. So yeah, being skinny fat is also a problem because that can cause healthy issues too. So skinny fat people, you also need to do strength.
And what about the opposite? Like those people that are struggling with their weight, but they're just taking every possible measurement. Like they just do anything they can to lose weight, like medication, restricted diet, not eating, not starving themselves. What do you think about that? How, let's say there's someone listening and they're struggling with that. They want to lose weight and they're on the path to take medications. Even those people that suffer with bulimia, what do you have to tell them?
So I'm very a coach that teaches a more flexible approach and a balanced life, because I don't think we should follow a diet. I think we should have a lifestyle. So we should have a plan.
What do you mean by not have a diet?
Not because if your diet has a date to end, your results will too. You know what I mean?
Talk a little bit about that.
So let's say you're following a very restricted diet, low carb, for example. Nothing against low carb. I like it, but not for me. Some people like it. But a low carb is not low carb, let's say keto. Keto is very, very restrictive because you can't have carbohydrates. And if you have, you got to measure everything, even your broccolis. So for somebody following that, it's not sustainable. You're going to follow for a month and a half, or 2, and then you're going to stop and you're going to go back to your eating habits that you had before. So your mindset didn't change. You just followed that plan, and now you're sick of it. You can't stand anymore eating just salad and meat. And then you start eating back like your old habits. You didn't change the old habits. You just add a new one, but your mind was still on the old habits. So once that diet is done, once you finish, once you don't want to do anymore, you're going to regain all the way back. So your diet finished, your results also will. So if you have a different approach, if if your diet is part of your lifestyle, you're not going to have a date to end, and you're not going to be so caught up on the date. The problem with a lot of people who wants to lose weight and try all these extremist diets, it's because they have a timeline. And most of the time, that timeline is not realistic for them. They wanted to lose 20 pounds in 2 to 3 weeks, and that's not possible, you know? It took me a long time to lose 30 pounds. I would say a year and a half to lose 30 pounds. Now I'm just maintaining. But it was a change in mindset. I didn't feel I was following a diet. You know, I just chose to eat some different things. And I also gave myself the chance to eat the things I like. So if you're listening now and you're following a lot of restricted diets, try to find something that works for your lifestyle, something that you're going to be able to follow on a long term. That's the secret, is the long term. If you do something for a month, 2 months, 3 months, and you go back to your old habits, you're going to fall off, you know, and you're going to regain everything again. That's the same thing I say with the medications. I think that is the right time and the right person to use it. I'm not against it. And for some people, I think it is important to have it because it kind of silences the food noise that some people have in their mind. Some people, they can't stop thinking about food. You know, they're so obsessive over food. They can't stop thinking. They eat when they're stressed. They eat when they're happy. They eat when they're feeling emotional. So it's the emotional eating. And the GLP-1 medications kind of like silence that noise of food in their head. So they take a couple bites and they're already satisfied. And then they don't eat anymore. And that's why it's so successful. But if they don't change the mindset, once they come off the medication, they're going to go back to the old habits and they're going to regain again. Same thing with the surgery. If you do this surgery, you're going to follow the diet, very restricted diet for a couple months. But once you go back to your old habits, if you don't change your mindset, you're going to regain all over again. And now you're going to have more healthy problems. I'm not against it. I know it is important for some people. And I think if you really need it, and if your doctor said you need it, you should go for it. But also do something to change your mindset. Do strength training, you know, follow a balanced diet, not just restricted. And learn about food. Learn how to feel your body. Learn how your body feels. Listen to your body to see what type of foods works better for you. Like, you know what type of food you can eat, what type of food is bad for you. Yeah. You know? So that's very important to know, to learn and be educated about what to eat, when to eat. And that's what I try to teach people, to learn. I don't want to just give them a meal plan to follow. I want them to learn to do in the long term.
When we talk here, I'm pretty sure you understand this. When we talk here, it sounds very easy to do. Mm-hmm. It sounds it's very easy. Just listen to your body. Let's take you as an example. When you were struggling with your weight, what had to change? Like, because not everybody's the same, but there's something that has to change. Like, what is that thing that will change a person's life? Because like you said, it's I could go to ChatGPT and give me a diet. Yeah. I could just start a diet. I could go to the market, buy. We have so many things. There's tea, there's, I don't know, you can name it. Yeah. But like you said, it's mindset. What's the one thing that has to change? Because everyone that's listening right now, most of them, they are struggling with that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What is that thing that has to change? For example, me, I don't know if I discussed this with you, but I used to struggle with food. Mm-hmm. I think in my case was bulimia, when you eat and you throw it away. Mm-hmm. Not throw it away, throw up. Yeah, I throw up. You throw up, yeah. But something had to change, like my personal life had to change so that I would stop. But I understand it's not for everyone. What is that thing that has to change? Do you think it's like, it's you yourself and make a choice? Do you think something bad needs to happen in order for you to make that choice?
I think everybody's different and everybody has their own why. I think your why is the biggest thing. Like, you need to know your why. You doing for yourself? Are you doing for your family? Are you doing for because you look in the mirror and you had a wow?
What was your
I gotta
why?
change. My why was like I didn't want to depend of somebody to do a meal plan for me every time and tell me exactly what to eat.
Mhm.
Without giving me a why, a reason why that I couldn't eat that. Why I can't eat
I
that.
remember you. Let's talk a little bit the strawberry situation. What was it?
So I went to a nutritionist. I don't have nothing against them. I love them. They're my friends in Korea. But there is some bad. Like in every career, we have some good and bad people, like, professionals. And for me, it was like, I was following and all that. And I'm a type of person that you got to tell me why I can't do that. If you don't tell me, I'm going to do it anyways. Like, I need to know what is going to happen if I do it. Right? So I need a why.
You're a very logical person.
Yeah, I need to know why. Like, educate me on that. I want to learn, And it was literally a strawberry. And I asked, like, oh, can I mix this to make a juice and that and that? And then the answer was just no. And I was like, okay, but
why?
It's a freaking strawberry. Why?
What's wrong with the strawberry?
What's wrong with that? Why can't And after that, I could not focus on following a meal plan. And I felt like I didn't have freedom. And I wanted to have freedom in my diet. I wanted to eat whatever I like. And whatever I wanted to eat on that day, I wanted to be like that. So I gave up on that diet. I put the meal plan aside. And right there,
you made your own diet?
I was on my last year in college. And I had a struggle a lot on when was it? I remember I played my 5th year because of COVID, right? So I was a super senior in college.
Mm-hmm.
And the semester before, I was struggling a lot. It was after COVID. I went back and I was like, after the first year that I transferred to a new school to finish my bachelor's. I struggle a lot that too because I was working in the cafeteria, so I was eating in the cafeteria all the time, and I was super busy. So I was struggling, and I tried to look for help to get that, and I didn't get the help I needed. So then after that, I decided I'm going to learn how to do it, and I'm going to do myself, because if you want something good, you do yourself. So then I start learning about nutrition and how to actually fuel my body. And I start with macros. I start counting macros. So I learn everything about macros, how many calories I should eat. And from that to now, it was trial and error. Now I already know exactly what I need, how many calories I need, how my metabolism works, all that. So I know exactly what I eat, what I don't, and I can catch. I know I'm never going to gain back weight because I can catch if I'm going on the other direction. I know how to do that and reverse the...
Wait. Let's go back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to go back to that weight.
Yeah.
How can you be so sure?
Because...
Is it a mentality thing? Is it a strategy thing? What is it?
Because I learned a lot with try and error in myself and also with clients. And also for building muscle. So when you build muscle, you kind of you burn calories when you're resting. Your body burns more calories to move and to do things because it's more dense. It takes more calories. Because of that, I know I'm never going to stop strength training. Mm-hmm. I'll always do it. It's part of my life. It's part of my routine. And I know if I'm gaining weight, I'll be able to see and I'll be able to go back because I know what works for my body. I know what to do. And it's not anything crazy. It's not anything special. It's just go back to the basics.
Yeah.
A thing that is very different now is that people snack a lot. I don't know. I think in Brazil it's a little different, But in US, people snack a lot. They don't sit down and eat a meal. Here we sit down and we eat breakfast. We sit down and eat lunch. We sit down and eat dinner. So we don't have that crave for snacks, like that 3 p.m. crash that you need something sweet, like that you're craving. We don't have much there. Like I was just talking to Brie today that I haven't bought a chocolate here because I'm eating food. I'm eating real food. You know, I sit down, I eat a breakfast, which is bread with eggs, and pão de queijo and coffee. And lunch, it's usually my mom's food, rice, beans, meat, all that. And I don't feel hungry and I don't feel the urge and the crave to go for other things, you know? So I think the problem is that people think they need a very special diet. They need something completely different than what they're doing. And you don't. You just need to adapt to what you're doing and do some small tweaks. Go back to the basics. Go back to the basics. There's not a specific workout that's going to make you lose belly fat. There's not a specific workout that is going to tone your body. It's always strength. It's the basics.
The secret sauce is the basics.
It's the basics. And have patience to do the basics. That's the problem. People don't have patience. They have unrealistic timeline. And they want results like that. And they think doing that diet and doing like the moon diet or following the influencer program is going to make them lose more weight. And it won't. It's the basics. But it gets boring. I understand.
What advice do you have? You gave me already, but I want you to tell everyone. For those cravings, I still do sometimes, but it's not as much as used to be because I changed.
You took my advice.
I took your advice, but people don't know what it is. So how can you, I don't want to say get rid of, but like decrease that craving, like afternoon craving? How can you manage that?
So if you're craving something, it's because your body is lacking of nutrients, right? So a lot of people, especially ladies, they're going to try to eat as low as possible, as low calorie as possible, you know, like very small portions of everything. And then an hour later, they're already hungry and they're already thinking about food. Because when you're hungry, your brain won't leave you alone until you eat, right? And if you're craving something, let's say you're craving chocolate, and then you go and you say, oh, I'm not going to eat the chocolate. I'm going to eat an apple. And your brain's like, but I want the chocolate. Give me the chocolate. And then you think, I'm going to eat a banana now. And then you eat a banana. But you're still craving it, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, you ate the banana, the apple, and a whole bar of chocolate because you said no so many times that you can't make a decision of saying no anymore. And you just go for it. So I think the advice I gave you was like, just eat a little bit. Don't eat too much. Eat the damn donut if you're craving a donut, you know? But I also understand that some people don't work like that. They can't be flexible, at least at the beginning. They need a more restrictive path to get there. But when I'm doing a consult with a client, with a possible client, I always ask what they like to eat and what is their favorite food, because I want to make sure they have on the meal plan. And it's not just a meal plan that I'll hand it to you and say, good luck, go and follow. No, we got to make adjustments. You're not a robot. You know, some foods won't work for you. You got to change sometimes. You got to go out with your family. So we need to know what to order to still be on track and not lose track of it. But cravings, it's lack of something. And most of the time, it's because we eat so small portions that we need to supplement like with other things, and then our brain start asking you for things, and your brain won't ask you for, I'm gonna eat an apple or I'm gonna eat a salad. No, you're gonna go for what you like to eat, and most of the time it's sweets.
I'm laughing because every time after we had a conversation and she gave me this advice, I love drinking banana smoothie, and sometimes I'm like, I'm full. I'm just obsessed with bananas. I love bananas. Anything with bananas. And sometimes I'm full, but I want something sweet. And then I look at my fridge. I have apple. I have an orange. There's like cookies. There's a bunch of stuff. Now I take the time and I ask myself, what do you want to eat? And then I look at the apple. Okay, I don't want an apple, so don't go for the apple. I don't want banana. And then I try to find that specific thing that I want to eat so I don't overeat.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. It helped a lot.
Yeah, and a lot of people will struggle with that. They're gonna try. I remember when I was following. It's so crazy when you don't know. I was following a nutritionist diet, and I didn't know what I was eating. I was just doing what I was told to do, you know. And I remember I was craving sweets, and then I would go to the peanut butter jar and just get a huge spoon and eat it. And I didn't know it was way worse than a whole bar of chocolate, you know?
That's crazy.
Yeah, because they put like flavor in the peanut butter. So you think you're doing good. It is healthier. Yeah, it is healthier. But what counts is calorie in and calories out to lose weight. So I'm not saying that's the only thing, but that's the main thing. It's calories in, calories out. You need to spend more calories than you put it in to be able to lose weight.
Well, what can you tell for those listening about when you go dine out? For example, I think it was Saturday. We went out for Enzo's game, and you know what it's like when you go there. It's a bar and all the junky food they have.
Yeah,
and I didn't have breakfast because the game was very early in the morning, and I was a bit lazy, so I didn't prepare myself.
Not even a banana smoothie?
No, it was early. I didn't prepare myself. I ate nothing. And when we arrived, I was looking for a place where I could eat. And they had like chips. You know what it's like.
Yeah.
And then I just took my phone. I was like, I'm gonna try to find a supermarket or a bakery, something.
Yeah.
I'm saying bakery because in Brazil, bakeries are different. Okay, guys? It's kind of like I don't want to say coffee shop, but it's a little bit different.
Yeah, it's similar to a coffee shop. You know, it's where you can go and order a sandwich or you can just, so.
Yeah. So I went to this bakery and they had like where you can just get a plate and serve yourself. I was like, oh, thank goodness. But what I think was interesting is that I knew that we would stay a little bit longer for the game. So in order not to fall for the chips, I bought like Miguel always says it's like old people cookies, biscoito de polvilho. So I bought some and some oranges. No oranges like the other one, tangerina.
Mandarins.
Mandarins, yeah, exactly. And I took to the game. Game was over. I ate. I shared with Enzo, his mom. And I was like, okay, I passed the test. Yeah. So can you give us some advice on how to, because it's not every time that you can bring food with you. And it's not always that you're going to find a place to buy food. In those situations, do you eat? You don't eat? What do you do?
So ideally, if you have a situation coming like that, everything goes around planning. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So it's important to always have a snack with you, maybe a protein bar, you know. Now it's so much easier because if you go to a bakery, you can also find a protein shake there that you can have. But if you go out to eat, let's say you go to a restaurant, right? I always teach my clients calorie banking. That's why it's so important to be educated about it. Like you need to know what you're eating. So
what do you mean by calorie banking?
So calorie banking is a term very famous in US, which is literally you save your calories for that moment of the day. Like when I know I'm going to go out to eat, let's say I'm going to go to my favorite restaurant and I know I want to eat what I want to eat, I'm going to save a little bit of those calories to utilize on that time. So, for example, eat normal during the day. Don't starve yourself. A lot of people, they do that.
That's what I'm trying to figure it out. Like, you don't eat?
No, you go to a rodizio. Oh, I'm going to starve myself all day and I'm going to eat everything there. No, that's shooting the food that you're doing. So what you got to do is plan. Plan is everything. Everything. So eat your breakfast, high protein. Always start with protein, right? So if you start with protein, you're going to feel satisfied sooner and you're not going to feel hungry so soon. Now, if you just eat a bread with coffee in the morning, in 1 hour, you're going to be hungry because it's just carbs.
Yeah.
And that's going to spike your blood sugar, and that's going to make you crave other things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be harder to control what to eat in these environments. But if you have breakfast, a good breakfast, solid, with protein, carbs, good fats, fruits to add fibers to it. Then you go to lunch, maybe you're going to eat, because you know you're going to eat a little bit more on dinner, you're going to maybe have a big salad with chicken, or you're going to choose something lighter, just a little bit of rice, beans. Speaking of Brazil terms, right? But if in US, I would say maybe a big salad with a lot of chicken, a lot of source of proteins, a little bit like a drizzle of olive oil. Don't go too much for the dressing. The problem with salads is the dressing. It can make the salad like even more caloric than a burger if you add a lot of sauce to it.
Really?
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize that. They go to the restaurant and they order a Caesar salad.
That was me.
Yeah.
Getting a bowl of salad and sauce.
Yeah. So the salad that is only like with the chicken, 300 calories, when you add a lot of sauce to it, it goes to 1,000, 1,200 calories. And that's a whole plate that you can eat. That's why it's important to know. Some people, they feel very, they say it's a second job. It's a full-time job tracking your calories, but you don't have to do forever. You just need to learn, just be educated of what to eat on those situations. And then you don't need to track. I don't track my food anymore. I don't need to track anymore because I did for a long time. So I learned, and now I can just go on autopilot. I know what to eat. So what I recommend for these people who has events, it's calorie banking. You need to do a calorie banking. And the calories is not only the calories of the day, it's the calories of the whole week that counts. So if you have an event on the weekend, like most of my clients, they go out to eat on the weekends with the family. So what we do is that we divide those calories, we spread them out on the week, during the week, which is the routine. And then on the weekend, they will have like an extra 300 calories to eat on that dinner. So they can get the dessert, they can have a couple beers if they want to. So planning is everything. You need to plan. I'm not going to say it's easy. It is simple, but it's not easy. You need to plan. You need to take time planning. That's what is like non-negotiable. You need to know what you're going to order. So, and if you go to order in a restaurant, avoid fried food, avoid like if you're going to have a drink, an alcohol drink, try not to get dessert, right? It all depends on your goal. Like if you're already almost close to where you want to be, it's okay to be more like give out a little bit more and eat all the other things. But if you have a goal and you really want to reach that, you need to plan. You need to plan and know and understand what calories do for you, what calories you should eat, what calories are worth in your diet, what calories aren't, And it's not that hard. You just sometimes got to check the back of the food when you go buy and you're going to give up on that food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started doing that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that I don't eat anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm not going to put this stuff in my body.
Yeah.
That's why you need a coach.
Yeah. It's important to have a coach and not somebody to tell you exactly what to do, but someone to be there for those situations when you have a wedding, when you have like something going on your week. So we can plan that week according to the event. This way you're not going to go off track, because what happens most of the time, people restrict a lot during the week. And then Friday night, they think their body know what is the weekend. Yeah. And then they turn off and they eat everything and binge the whole week. And then Monday, they start back again.
Yeah.
And that's a cycle every week. Now, if you know that it's okay to have a burger on that day, on a Wednesday, to have 2 slices of pizza on a Thursday, on the weekend, it's going to be just a normal day. And you're going to be able to control more because you know the food will be there next day. You don't need to eat all of it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
we talk about overeating, but I think we still have a little time to talk about people like me that doesn't eat or eat not enough food. Like you think you're eating a lot, but at the end of the day, you're not eating a lot.
Mm-hmm. So if you notice that you're having a lot of cravings or if you're low energy, that means you're not eating enough. You're not fueling your body enough. And just eating healthy is not enough. Like, eating healthy doesn't mean you're going to reach your goal. You know, it doesn't mean you're going to lose weight or you're going to build muscle, because we need to know, if you want to build muscle, you need to eat more than what you expanding. And if you want to lose weight, you need to eat a little less than what you're expanding. Nothing extreme, but a little bit less than what you're eating now.
But when you say eat less, that's what confuses us the most.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I think I'm eating like a granola bar, and that granola bar has, I don't know how many calories.
It's healthy, right? It is healthy. And you think you're eating a little. So you need to know calories, what to eat that works for your body. So if you're just restricting and then at night you feel super hungry, that means your car is empty. It's like a car. Your body is kind of like a car. You need to fuel to be able to go through the day and get to your destination. Otherwise, you're going to break down before, and you're going to need to have another intervention in that. So eating healthy is not enough. Like, peanut butter is very healthy. Nuts, very healthy. But a handful of nuts, it's almost the same thing than a big plate of food. Like, maybe you can have a little bit of pasta, a big meat with that. Because imagine you're at work, right? Yeah. And you work in the office. That happens a lot. And then you have a nut jar sitting there. And you're hungry. You're hungry. You're going to have to eat, because you just had coffee in the morning, and then you rush out of the door to go to work. And then you're just sipping your coffee, and you didn't have any water, right? Our brain confuses a lot hangry to thirsty. Most of the time, you got to ask yourself, am I really hungry or I'm just thirsty? Or I use that trick, I think, am I hungry? Would I eat an apple right now? The answer is like, no. The apple does sound that good, that means you're not hungry. That means you're just craving something. So chug some water. And we need to learn to sit with our hunger too. If you're in a weight loss process, you're going to be hungry sometimes. And you're going to have to control that and accept that. What is not normal is to be extremely hungry all the time, because that's going to become a problem later. You're going to be obsessed.
What if you're not hungry, but it's that desire to eat? You just want to put something in your mouth. You
just want to chew, right? Yeah. So let's go back to the nut jar. You hear, and then you just...
Yeah, just snacking all day.
Snacking all day. And then you say, oh, I don't eat much. That's what everybody says. I don't eat much at all. Yeah. You know, I eat this, this, and this. And it's overweight. But there is something there. There is something wrong. You're compensating those calories at some point. Maybe you restricting so much during the day, and at night you're so hungry that you can't control. And we make so many decisions throughout the day that at night it's so hard to think what to eat, because you already had to think about everything during the day. Imagine if you're a mom, how many decisions you gotta make a day, you know? Especially like around food, what your kids gonna eat, what I'm gonna eat, what my husband's gonna eat.
Just give them whatever.
So the problem is that we make so many decisions throughout the day that when we're gonna think about it, what to eat, we are so fatigued, our brain is so fatigued, that we just grab the first thing we see. And most of the time it's not a good option, because it's gonna be a quick option. You're tired, you stress, and you're gonna go for the easy one. So what I recommend people to do, it's literally have 3 big meals a day. If you have 3 big meals with protein, carbs, fats, you're not going to have many cravings. And if you do, after lunch, it's okay to have a little bit of chocolate. It's okay to have, I don't know, whatever you're craving, you know. Just know that it's okay to have, so your brain won't be like, if you tell somebody you can't do that thing, they're going to do it. The secret is like, don't do that. Your brain's going to be like, it's like if I tell you, don't think about an elephant right now. Yeah. You're going to think about an elephant, right? Yeah. So when you tell your brain you can't do that, your brain will be like, you want it, you want it, you want it, you want it. And willpower only lasts until at some point. Like I said, when you make a lot of decisions, you go to work, and everybody brings a lot of good things and offer you, right? And you say, no, I'm not going to eat that. I'm not going to eat that. I'm not going to eat that. You're tired of saying no. You get home and it's like, whatever, I'm going to just eat it. Yeah. I said no all day.
Yeah, you're a superhero the whole day, but when you get home, you became a human again.
Yeah, and then that's why a lot of people binge, and they binge bad. Yeah.
Is there anything you want to tell people that are listening to, especially women's over 40, over 30?
Over 30.
Do you have something to tell them?
Ladies over 30, you my people. I'm over 32. That's hard to believe. A lot of people only give me 26. But that's the secret to longevity and to look younger, is to be active. And if you wanted to feel better on your 30s, 40s, 50s, you can feel better on that age than on your 20s if you follow a good program, if you have a structure, and if you have a coach with you. It makes a whole difference having a coach. I say that for myself because I have a coach for myself. And if I didn't have a running coach, I wouldn't be running until now, because he didn't let me give up when I wanted to. And now, like with big goals, if you have big goals, get a coach, get a personal trainer. You know, I'm not saying it has to be me, but like find someone close to you, somebody you like, and go for it. It's an investment. It's not like you're not spending money, you're not being selfish and take time from your family. You literally buying time back, and you buying your health back to be there for your family. So my advice for you, if you're over 30, you have to be doing strength training, or find an exercise that you enjoy. Maybe you like beach tennis. Maybe you like foot volley. Maybe you just like running. Do it. And eventually strength training is going to come along, because it is important. Like everybody should be doing that. So that's my advice for you.
Thank you, Coach Rafa Passos.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure to be here.